Dispatch looks like a teenage cartoony superhero satire at first, judging by its official cover art, but as soon as you start episode 1, it actually turns into one of the most unpredictable, emotionally engaging interactive games with one of the most refreshing R-rated stories that make you feel ashamed of judging it by its cover. It forces you to make some of the hardest decisions of well, if not your life, then your entire gaming history. It makes you fire people you barely know,
I'm going to cut someone from the Z team. Or you are, rather.
choose between two gorgeous women you actually like, and judge other players based on their decision stats at the end of each episode. And somehow it makes it all fun. If you never played Dispatch, here's why you should. Hi, my name is Megan. I'm your new favorite YouTuber who reviews games a little differently, and you're about to hear my honest and unfiltered commentary on Dispatch without any spoilers. Dispatch is an interactive narrative adventure game where you don't just play a hero, you dispatch them. You manage a team of former villains and unstable heroes, make tactical decisions, hack systems, and choose dialogue options that actually change the story. With 8 episodes running close to an hour each, you're getting 8 to 9 hours of playtime, and at $30 to $40, the pricing matches both the length of the game and the quality behind it. Feels like living inside of an animated superhero series where you're the main character and every choice you make changes the direction of the story. One thing I appreciated about the game is how it eased me into gameplay by giving proper introductions. Before you even start dispatching, you're introduced to what it actually means through a test run, choosing the right heroes for the right disastrous events that need to be resolved. On your very first day as a dispatcher, you're introduced to your team members who are all previously known villains, given the option to either work for the superhero dispatch network or to serve jail time. The game also introduces you to hacking, which is one of the more stressful parts of your job. It starts off pretty easy, but as the story progresses, it gets harder. By the later episodes, you're juggling the pressure of managing disobedient former villains.
Can everybody take a seat so we can get started? Hey, can I get your attention, please? I would like to get started.
Each with distinct personalities,
You wash your hands after touching all them filthy nutsacks?
strength, and weaknesses.
As I literally just said, I am Flambe, a real superhero. And you are not Mecha Man anymore. So, you need to get the fuck out of here. Now, we can do this the easy way. Fuck.
There. Easy way.
While handling time-sensitive hacking sequences and making difficult moral decisions. The developers could have easily gotten the momentum of the introduction wrong and overwhelmed you with dialogue-heavy decision-making and quick-time events. But Ad Hoc Studio did a great job introducing both of those elements along with resource management. This is something that I've seen many other interactive games fail to do. Next, the dialogue in this game is sharp.
Did you just give me an up-down?
The banter is witty.
Well, I'm wet. I see why you like him. Look at that trip. What does that look? Best Buy Fight Club? Fucking hot.
Each character's vocabulary feels distinct.
Hey, you think that's why they call me Roy? Like I'm on steroids. Cause they think I'm some kind of a juice head? They think I'm not natty, bro? They think Roy's not natty.
No, I'm just kidding, man. Just making jokes about your name and the shitter.
Whatever. I don't care.
That's, yeah, Nokia is probably best.
The humor is bold and completely uncensored.
You ever jerk off in this thing?
And honestly, it's refreshing.
I saw him in his underwear. average.
He back in my...
Oh, but he's got a lot of bruises, which I'm into.
Again, please clear the channel.
Get it, your email.
Shut the fuck up. Let me remind you, these calls are fucking recorded for training fucking purposes. So keep the fucking line clear before we send your stupid fucking asses back to whatever fucking cell we pulled your stupid fucking asses out of. Alright?
We don't see this kind of unfiltered language even in a lot of modern R-rated games anymore. It felt like adults talking in an adult game made by adults for adults, not sanitized corporate writing, which is 10 out of 10. Also have to add how happy I am that studio chose a team of professional voice actors with unique voices, including Aaron Paul as Mecha Man.
Look, I like to make a joke and keep things light as much as the next person. But when it comes to work, I'm not fucking around here.
Laura Bailey as Invisigal.
I have fucking villain powers. I can turn invisible and skulk in the shadows. My powers let me steal shit and watch famous people fuck. Being a villain is my fate.
And Erin Yvette as Blonde Blazer.
It's just... the timing felt right. I don't know. Sometimes you just gotta shake shit up. It felt a little impulsive, but maybe it was a long time coming.
I also like the art style as it features a distinct cel-shaded design created to mimic 2D animation with 3D environment. It looks like modern animated TV shows like Titan AE and To Be Hero X. It doesn't even try to look realistic, especially with its high contrast color palette, and that somehow works in the game's favor, matching the edgy characters and their sarcastic tones.
Bitch, my name's Robert, such a bitch whose name is Robert. I'm a bitch, I'm a bitch. I'm such a fucking bitch. I have no hopes, I have no dreams. And a tiny little pin, and it doesn't even function anyway.
Okay, now this is where it gets impressive. Like most interactive games, Dispatch gives you dialogue options in every major conversation, usually 3. But unlike many of them, your choices actually change the narrative. I replayed the game a zillion times because I was dying to know how each decision affects the game, and things unfolded differently. It is definitely not fake ranching. And what made it even better is that I couldn't predict what would happen next, so in most cases, even though I thought I knew the direction of the game, I was mostly wrong. And at the end of each episode, the game shows you statistics of what other players chose in the same scenarios. That was something I didn't expect, but I was so happy to see that they included those stats because every time I play interactive games, I always wonder how many other people made the same decisions as me. It kind of makes me reflect on my choices and sometimes even judge other players. If you didn't fist bump Royd in the toilet, I'm judging you. If you decided to listen to Invisigal and put Thumbstick's nuts away, oh yeah, I'm judging you. And if you picked Blonde Blazer or Mandy instead of the option either works, yeah, I'm judging that too. I was also curious why the developers decided to gather and release these stats. According to my research, they did so for the following 2 reasons. First, they wanted to use the data to analyze how the community interacts with the narrative, potentially informing the development of a future sequel. Instant Gaming News reports that in an interview with Eurogamer, Nick Herman, co-founder of the studio and director of Dispatch, briefly mentioned the possibility of a second season. Second, the stats allow players to see how their decisions align with the majority. And I personally appreciate both reasons behind gathering and showing these stats. That being said, every time you override your previous saves with different decisions, your old choices are removed from the aggregated data and replaced with your new ones. Now, this raises a question for me. Can the final data truly represent players' decision patterns and preferred story outcomes? Given players replaying the game to explore different outcomes, could this potentially blur the accuracy of the data for future development? If you think you know the answer to this, please let me know in the comments. Now, regarding the different options I was given in the game, there were 2 scenarios that were really hard for me to choose from. The first scenario was introduced in the early episodes of the game where I had to fire one character. either Coop or Sonar. I barely knew them, only from their profile summaries and the very initial dispatch session I got to have with them.
Can't just go around. Ow! Why does he keep screaming?
His name's Sonar.
Yeah, I know what sonar means.
What's up?
That felt kinda unfair to both of them, as I could see the potential for both to become real heroes. Then there was the second scenario, choosing between two women, Blunt Blazer and Invisigal. I formed a connection with both characters, and it was really hard to let one of them go. I'm so curious to know which scenario was the hardest for you, so if you already played the game, please let me know in the comments. Earlier, I mentioned how unique each character is in the game, but I have to add 2 more points to that. First, I loved how a seemingly minor character,
My name's Beef and I'm naked.
became significantly important toward the end of the game. That's something many story writers miss, but not Pierre Charette. This guy is a legend. He also wrote The Walking Dead, Batman Telltale, Wolf Among Us, Minecraft, and many more hits. But this is literally the best image of him I could find on internet.
What?
Okay, now going back to my first point, I believe no character, however small, is ever insignificant, and I loved seeing it portrayed in this game. Second, I really liked the cultural representation of Galen, the dispatcher.
And then there's Galen, way back there. Born with super hearing. He's from. I want to say. Florida! Of course. Florida man over there.
Essentially the SDN's tech specialist. You can call it a cultural stereotype or whatever, but I personally like that the game wasn't afraid to portray culturally recognizable personalities in a way that resonates with real life. It's rare to see this kind of portrayal in games or movies, especially these days, even though it mirrors real-life personalities we encounter all the time. These two characters created a bridge between real life and the virtual one we choose to play in, and I really appreciate that. Now, things I didn't like. First and foremost, Flambe's accent didn't match his Afghan background at all, unless he was born in Afghanistan and raised in somewhere in a Spanish/Arabic country. As someone who was born and raised in the Middle East with many Afghan friends, that stood out to me immediately.
That's fucking right. And you, it's time for you to accept that you don't got it anymore. And pretending you still do is bombing people the fuck out. Now, get your flat ass off my bench.
Of course, I had to do some research to understand who the voice actor is. His name is listed as Lance Kanstopoulos on the Dispatch IMDb page. And there's no real person on the internet with this name. I happened to come across a Reddit post mentioning that he's in fact Fahim Anwar. And they were right. He had attended the Dispatch Cast interview previously, and here you can see him on his official YouTube page. Fahim is an LA-based stand-up comedian, descendant of Afghan immigrants, born and raised in the US. I don't really care if the person doing the voiceover is originally from the country they're meant to represent, but I do care if their accent is actually representative of that country. Second, I would have liked a slightly longer timer for certain scenarios that were harder to decide on or had longer dialogue options to read. Although I understand that the developers wanted instinctive reactions from players.
Which do you like better, peanut butter or egg whites?
Peanut butter.
Which would you rather be, a fireman or a swimmer?
A swimmer.
Who would you rather sleep with, Monica or Rachel?
Monica.
No thinking, no thinking. Ty or Ascot?
Ascot.
North route or south route?
North route.
Bam, there you go. Huh?
Lastly, I noticed that Malevola's place of birth is listed as unknown in the game, but on the official Dispatch wiki page, it is mentioned as Australia. Was it a mistake not to include this information, or is it because she doesn't sound Australian?
That specific number could be ours. Just one hint. I mean, we're friends, right? Make your friends some money.
Yours to decide. Dispatch tricked me. At first, it looked completely unserious from the game cover to the animated art style, but just a few episodes in, I realized this game isn't like any other, and it's definitely not made for kids.
Cool dick. So, you, got some kind of clever supervillain there?
And underneath all the sarcasm and profanity, there is real structure, real emotional weight, and real impact. The game blends humor, leadership, romance, and morality in a way that genuinely kept me invested. If you enjoy interactive games where your choices truly matter, this one is absolutely worth your time and money. Just be ready to make decisions you might question later. FYI, TJ and I are going to stream the first few episodes of Dispatch, so if you're interested to see more of the game before purchasing it, make sure to follow us on Twitch. Thank you for staying till the end of this video. Your likes, comments, and subscription mean a lot, and I cannot wait to have you in the next one.